started off on a very rare early morning trip to Lavasa. So Lavasa is somewhere where we went like 2.5 years back, and I have always wanted to visit the weird town again. And after this long time, we again got the opportunity to visit there. Are we going? The mountain. The mountain. Bye bye. So the distance from my place to Lavasa, it takes around 4.5 hours, which is around 150 kilometers. Just 50 kilometers away from my apartment is Lonavala. So and it's so close that I have never come and stayed even for one day in Lonavala. Every time we go somewhere, we would pass through Lonavala, and that's the best of Lonavala that we get to experience. So in Lonavala, after you cross the Lonavala Khandala Ghat section, you have this cozy little restaurant where you can have Maggie, have some tea, coffee, and whatever, and so that you are charged up for the rest of the trip. And the view of the Mumbai section of the Ghats from this place is just mesmerizing. You can sit here, and we spent close to around an hour here. We had some really good Maggie, and then the kids also had their breakfast because we started off very early this time, right? So their breakfast they had at this place, and after that we started again. Come to the camera. Wear your sunglasses. Everyone should wear sunglasses. Finally, everyone is awake. Only Bam Bam is sleeping now.
Hi baby.
Hello.
Mama, look at the camera, Shona. Say I am looking so beautiful and handsome.
Ow.
What was that?
So previously, whenever I have visited Lavasa, it was typically during the monsoons, and this is the first time that we are visiting in the winters. The path crosses through Pune, and between Pune and Lavasa, there is this dam called Temghar Dam, and there are some small waterfalls next to it. Usually in monsoons, there would be lots of waterfalls across the entire stretch of road between Pune and Lavasa, but then it's the dry season, so there were very few waterfalls that we could see, and just got some pictures clicked here. So Lavasa being close to a ghost town, there were lots of villas that would at any time be available, and from my previous experience, I felt that it didn't make a lot of sense to make any bookings over Airbnb or whatever was available beforehand. I will go there, and then I'll find some of these restaurants where you can just talk to the owners at the restaurant, and they would help figure out a villa to stay. But unfortunately, some things had changed this time, and there was some new regulation that had come into the city where they are not allowing there is supposedly a city council that doesn't allow any villa to be rented for short term. And we tried a lot of tricks and tips to try to request and get someone to get a villa rented out to us, but after lots of trials also it didn't work. At the end, there was a Airbnb that I had found beforehand before I reached here, and we had checked into the Airbnb, but then it was a single room, so we were trying to get a villa. But since we couldn't find a villa, we finally took the same place. So we would be staying in Lavasa for 2 nights and 3 days, and this is the view from outside the place that we stayed in. So it's right next to the Lavasa lake near the city outskirts. There you can see that Antariksh resort. That's again one more good 3-star or 4-star hotel that you can stay in. We checked that place also, but then those were single rooms, and we always want for a better experience than a single room. So anyway, it was like late night that night, so we just had some shawarma and we fell asleep. So this is the place that we stayed in. It's called Lakeview Resort. I don't think it has any proper name. And in our search for a villa or an apartment, all the people who were helping us find a place to stay out are somehow connected. So the person who showed us this place, he was the person whom the restaurant owner had called to find a place, and then again we found one more phone number somewhere in a town where which showed that if you needed help with lodging and staying, you can call that number. And when calling that number also, it helped us get to the same person. So it's ultimately one person who has a grasp of all the properties available to stay. So early next morning, again we went out for a stroll around the place that we stayed in. So I'll just show you around, and you can enjoy the beautiful views outside. So finally, towards the evening, we arrived at the most picturesque place in Lavasa city. So Lavasa, like I have already mentioned in my 2 years old video, so this city was a completely planned one, and it was developed after an Italian city called Portofino. So the buildings and all the places in Lavasa are themed after that place. And this place is called Promenade. So all these places have these Western and Italian names. Even the street names are like Hill Street and Valley Street, Portofino Street. So all these are the names of the streets there. And in that promenade, there would be some small stalls of food. So this was a momo stall, and the momo there were really delicious, very similar to the ones that we would find in the northeast near Sikkim and Nepal. So there are also some collectible stores where you can collect some memento. There are some softie stores where we had a lot of softies, because my babies whenever they would see ice cream or a softie corner, it's very difficult to stop them from crying. And this younger one, he is not even content with one ice cream. He would always want a couple of ice creams before he is content. So we spent at least a couple of hours in Portofino Street, and then we moved towards our next destination. Again, in Lavasa is a place where you should come to chill out. You don't have a lots of place to view and sightsee. It's just that you can stay there and have a completely different European experience in a place very near to Mumbai. So from Portofino Promenade, we started off towards a nearby dam, again the viewpoint called Panchshade. I just found it to be an interesting place nearby. We didn't have anything in mind. Just wanted to uh, view the road that takes us to that place because it passes right beside the Lavasa Lake, and then there is one more river. I forgot the name. So that's the route. Again, since it's almost the autumn and winter is just about to hit, most of the grasses and bush around you can see, right? So these are all brownish in color. I can only imagine what this place looks like during monsoons because it would be so lush, velvety green. Again, something that I would carry forward and wish that I would be able to come here again. So this is the view from near the Panchet Dam. We didn't exactly go to Panchet because by the time we reached there, it was almost dark and nothing would be visible. And then we returned back to the city of Lavasa. So that's again the shawarma place where we had the yummiest shawarma a day back, and we had one more round of shawarma there. Later in the night, when Olivia and the babies there were well settled in the resort, I took a stroll back to the promenade. Again, this place is beautiful. I just spent one half an hour there, and by that time I had also bought some chicken because I had planned to make use of whatever stuff I had brought here. I had brought a barbecue, I had brought the induction, so I thought why not make a meal here. हाँ हाँ, वो जो अल्लाह कर रहा था, दो बच्चे हैं मेरे। दो बच्चे? हाँ, एकदम दोनों अलग ही। So now it was time for the master chef at work. So I had multiple chicken items. So there you can see the chicken marinade for the barbecue, and there's the semi-cooked chicken that I will be again adding to the potato. So we had a great meal that night. Here you can see, right, the chicken curry is almost getting ready, and my barbecue has also been lit. You can see the fire has already started, and there you can see the great view of the Lavasa Lake right from the balcony. You just can't imagine the kind of experience that I had there, right? And by the way, there was a strict no from the resort owner that we cannot do anything. But then we brought really safe stuff to cook, and there you can see the barbecue is also getting ready. So I had a great multi-staged dinner that night, and we went to sleep. The next morning, early in the morning, what happened was the water. So that's the place that we stayed in from the other side of the lake, and there was no water in the tap. So I reached out to the restaurant. The owner sits in this restaurant, is the Garden View restaurant, and I went there and I requested that we would be a bit late while checking out. The normal checkout time was 11 a.m. and I told him that because there is no water, the kids also needed some time to get them cleaned and all. It will take a lot of time. So again, he was more than accommodating, and we actually left the place at around 2:30. So there was also a movie, a Kannada movie that shoot was going on, and over half of the city has been booked by the movie for set itself. So again, that was also one of the reasons why there were no villa at all for us to rent out. So as per them, almost all the available apartments and villas were taken out by the film crew. Even the place that we stayed in, there also the rest of the rooms had been booked by the same movie itself. So we checked out from the resort at around 2:30 p.m. and then we went back to the Portofino Street promenade. And yeah, just enjoy the view. So it was quite late in the evening by the time we started from LAVASA. I had one more round of this hot Nepali momos and then we started back towards Mumbai. So again a memorable trip it was, and I'll carry the memories of LAVASA and for the future also. Hopefully I am able to come to this place again. Thank you and see you in my next video. We are going to Goa.